Let's start with a truth etched into our DNA. Attraction isn't random. It's a dance of signals hardwired into our brains from eons of survival and reproduction. Evolutionary psychology tells us women are drawn to men who radiate confidence, resourcefulness, and emotional depth. Traits that scream, "I'm the one who thrives in chaos." But here's the kicker. You don't need to be a billionaire or a chiseled Adonis. You just need to signal those traits with intention. That's where NLP steps in, letting you hack the subtle cues of language and behavior to amplify your presence. Think of it as programming the conversation to light up her emotional circuits. First, let's talk about your vibe, your emotional signature. Walk into any room like you own it, not with arrogance, but with a quiet certainty that says, "I'm grounded in my own skin." Evolutionary psychology shows us that confidence signals high status, a trait women's brains are wired to seek because it once meant protection and provision. To pull this off, use NLP's anchoring technique. Before you step into a social scene, take a moment. Close your eyes, breathe deep, and recall a time you felt unstoppable. Maybe you crushed a presentation or stood tall in a tough moment. Let that feeling flood your body. Anchor it with a subtle gesture, like pressing your thumb and forefinger together. When you're in the moment, trigger that anchor and watch how your energy shifts. You're not faking it, you're tapping into your own primal power. Now, when you approach her, don't just say hi like every other guy. Start with a spark, a curious observation that hooks her attention. Instead of, "You look nice," try something like, "There's a story behind that necklace, isn't there?" It's specific, it's intriguing, and it invites her to share. This is NLP's pattern interrupt. Breaking the usual script of small talk to jolt her brain into engagement. You're not just another stranger, you're the guy who sees her. Evolutionary psychology backs this up. Women are drawn to men who notice details, a sign of attentiveness that once ensured survival in tight-knit tribes. As you talk, lean into the rhythm of her speech. This is NLP's mirroring and matching, subtly syncing your tone, pace, and even body language with hers. If she's animated, let your energy rise to meet her. If she's calm, soften your cadence. It's not mimicry, it's harmony. Studies in evolutionary psychology show that humans bond faster when they feel in sync, a relic of our tribal days when alignment meant trust. But here's the poetic twist. Let your words weave a delicate thread of connection, like a silken bridge between your soul and hers. Don't overdo it, just a touch of poetry to make her feel seen in a way that lingers. Now, let's get to the heart of desire, not the crude, fleeting kind, but the deep pull of emotional intimacy. Women's brains, shaped by evolution, crave a man who can balance strength with vulnerability. Share a story that reveals your character, but frame it with purpose. Say you're talking about a challenge you faced, like a time you failed, but clawed your way back. Use NLP's reframing. Instead of saying, "I messed up," say, "I learned how to rebuild stronger." This signals resilience, a trait that screams high value to her subconscious. Paint the scene vividly. Let her feel the stakes, the struggle, the triumph. You're not just telling a story, you're inviting her into your world, where she can glimpse your strength and your humanity. Here's a hook to keep her locked in. Ask her a question that stirs her emotions. Try, "What's one moment in your life that made you feel truly alive?" This isn't just small talk, it's an NLP technique called eliciting values. You're digging into what lights her up, what drives her. Listen closely. Her answer will hand you the keys to her heart. Evolutionary psychology tells us women seek men who understand their inner world, a trait tied to emotional intelligence, which once ensured better group cohesion. When she shares, don't just nod. Reflect back what you hear. Say, "That sounds like it set your soul on fire." That poetic spark, used sparingly, makes her feel understood on a level most guys never touch. Now, let's talk about the dance of attraction. because it's not just words. Your body speaks louder than your voice. Stand tall, shoulders back, but relaxed, like a lion at rest. Evolutionary psychology shows that open, expansive postures signal dominance and safety, traits women's brains are wired to notice. Use slow, deliberate movements. Rushing screams insecurity. When you touch her arm lightly to emphasize a point, it's not just contact, it's a calibrated signal of confidence. NLP calls this kino escalation. Small, respectful touches that build comfort and spark chemistry. But timing is everything. Read her cues. If she leans in, mirrors your touch, or holds eye contact, you're on the right track. If she pulls back, ease off. You're not forcing connection, you're co-creating it. Here's where most guys stumble. They chase too hard. Evolutionary psychology reveals a counterintuitive truth. Women are drawn to men who have options, who don't need her approval to feel whole. This isn't about playing games, it's about embodying abundance. NLP's presupposition technique can help here. Act as if you're already a man women are drawn to. Speak with the calm assurance of someone who knows his worth. When you say, "I'd love to hear more about that over coffee," it's not a plea. It's an invitation from a man who's comfortable in his own orbit. That subtle shift in mindset makes her feel chosen, not chased, and that's a powerful aphrodisiac. As the conversation deepens, sprinkle in humor. Not crude jokes, but playful wit. Tease her gently about something quirky she said, like, "Oh, you're that person who loves pineapple on pizza? I need to rethink this whole conversation." It's light, it's fun, and it builds rapport. Evolutionary psychology shows humor signals, intelligence, and social savvy, traits that historically marked a man as a leader. Pair this with NLP's embedded commands, subtle phrases that plant ideas. For example, say, "I bet you're someone who loves to feel a real connection when you meet the right person." The phrase, "feel a real connection," slips into her subconscious, nudging her to associate that feeling with you. Let's wrap this with a final hook. Leave her wanting more. Don't overstay your welcome. End the interaction at a high point when she's laughing or sharing something personal. Say, "This has been a blast, but I've got to run. Let's pick this up soon. What's your number?" It's direct, confident, and leaves her craving the next chapter. Evolutionary psychology tells us scarcity breeds desire. By stepping away gracefully, you signal you're a man with a full life, not one clinging to her attention. NLP's future pacing kicks in here. By suggesting, "Let's pick this up," you're planting the idea of a future together, subtle but potent. Gentlemen, this is the game of attraction, played not with manipulation, but with mastery of your own primal instincts and hers. You're not just talking to a woman, you're speaking to her deepest drives, her ancient wiring, her unspoken desires. Use these tools, evolutionary psychology to understand her, NLP to amplify your impact, and you'll craft connections that feel like destiny. Now go out there, own your power, and let the sparks fly.